All right, hello and a very good evening to you. Welcome to the broadcast. This is Hope TV's Newswatch on this day, the 20th day of January. Feels so great to have you join us tonight. We have quite a lot of top stories lined up for you, including an update on the status of the Grade 10 mop-up that was announced by the Cabinet Secretary for Education. My name is Theo Macharia, and on the sign language interpretation is Boniface Mureithi. We begin with the NCIC, where the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has intensified efforts to curb hate speech and incitement after launching the Kenya National Action Plan and social media guidelines aimed at strengthening, preventing and enforcing, particularly as the country heads into a politically sensitive period. Now, speaking during the launch in Nairobi, the Commission said the new action plan provides clear recommendations for all stakeholders, including political actors, regulators, media and civil society, to collectively confront hate speech. NCIC noted that the framework seeks to address gaps and weaknesses observed during previous election cycles.
With about 18 months to the 2027 general election, the National Cohesion and Integration Commission (NCIC) has rolled out its National Action Plan designed to help detect, prevent and respond to hate speech and incitement during the campaign period. Speaking during the launch in Nairobi,
appeared before the commission.
NCIC Director of Investigations and Compliance James Onyande said the commission had drawn lessons from the past elections where cases of hate speech were rampant.
600 days to the next elections. And so as institutions that are mandated to ensure that there's peaceful coexistence in the country, it's important that we start putting in measures that will ensure that elections are peaceful. So the two documents that have been rolled out today are just a step towards that. The Kenya National Action Plan on Hate Speech and the Social Media Monitoring Guidelines. They're just a step towards ensuring that the coming elections will be.
In a bid to tackle the growing digital threat, the Commission also unveiled social media monitoring guidelines meant to curb the spread of inflammatory and divisive content online.
The long-term priorities for this NAP, the Kenya National Action Plan Against Hate Speech and Radical Ideologies, we want to be able to address what are the root causes and the drivers of this hate speech. Unajua saa zingine hata sio yenye mwanasiasa amekuja amesema, si ndio? Kuna ile root causes zenye that is what we want to know. We also want to use education as a tool for addressing. We want to educate people, let people know what hate speech is about, people know how to report these things.
However, NCIC has renewed its call on Parliament to pass a long-pending bill that will empower the Commission to vet all public officers before they take up office.
We've proposed is to give NCIC the power to vet politicians or anybody who is seeking either elective or appointive positions. If NCIC is given that power to be able to vet these people seeking either elective or appointive posts, then we'll be able to tame a lot of this negative rhetoric.
The Commission has further appealed to political leaders, civil society, the media and the public to work with it in promoting accountability, peaceful coexistence and national cohesion as the country edges closer to the next election cycle. For Newswatch, I'm Jacob Ochiro.
Right, thank you so much, Jacob, for that report. And the political activist Nuru Okanga has been acquitted of all charges in a cybercrime case of alleged threatening remarks against President William Ruto. Now, the ruling delivered by a Milimani Law Court concluded that evidence presented by the state did not meet the legal threshold required to sustain the 3 counts brought against Okanga under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act. As a result, the court held that Okanga had no case to answer and ordered his acquittal under Section 210 of the Criminal Procedure Code. Okanga, who is a vocal political commentator and activist, had faced charges that he published a video on social media platforms, including TikTok, containing remarks deemed to threaten or remarks deemed threatening towards President William Ruto.
He also stated that they prepared an affidavit from other websites. He produced the following documents, which was a letter from the DCI for identification, number 2, and a report from Communications of Kenya, which was also consent to search digital data, which he also marked for identification as number 5, and misidentification as number 7. He also produced an exhibit memo dated 14th of June 2020, number 9. In cross-examination, during the said time, there were countrywide demonstration. Like the president, he also stated that the photo may have been manipulated with AI. At the said video that went viral, reference was made to the inventory, and he stated that it to the forensic cybercrime laboratory. He also stated that the video was published by Riba News and Siasa TV KE Backup and Diff Media. He also stated that he did not know if these accounts are demonstrated through any direct or circumstantial evidence. The fourth element is that the publication was likely to cause panic, chaos, violence, or damage to the reputation. While the subject matter of the alleged statements is undoubtedly grave, the prosecution did not tender any evidence showing that panic, chaos, or violence occurred or was imminent as a result of the alleged publication. In relation to count number 3, brought under Section 24 of the Kenya Information and Communication Act, the same.
And a caucus of Luo professionals is now sounding the alarm over the widening cracks within the Orange Democratic Movement Party, that is ODM. Now, speaking in Nairobi, the professionals warned that the ongoing internal wrangles or power struggles could jeopardize the unity of the Luo community ahead of the 2027 general elections. The group is now calling for a house cleaning exercise at Orange House, while throwing their weight behind the current broad-based government arrangement. Our reporter Vincent Kerosi has that story.
As the pull and push in ODM party rumbles on, a section of intellectuals from the Luo community have taken a stand. Meeting in Nairobi, Ramogi Professional Caucus expressed a deep concern that the glaring differences among ODM top brass are creating a vacuum that could prove detrimental to the community's collective bargaining power.
Mtazamo wetu ni kwamba umoja wa jamii yetu ni muhimu zaidi kuliko vita vya kisiasa. Lakini tunajua kwamba siasa ndivyo vyombo vya kuchukua usukani.
The professionals emphasized that discipline must be restored within the party ranks, saying they encourage the ongoing negotiations for a strategic working formula as the 2027 roadmap begins to take shape. Central to this is the legacy of the late Raila Amolo Odinga and the 10-point agenda agreement signed with President William Ruto's UDA.
Within the ODM party, we encourage unity, discipline, and strategic coherence in order to strengthen its position as a formidable national movement capable of negotiating power and shaping Kenya's future beyond electoral circles.
As united party, strengthened party, a consolidated party stands a chance to negotiate with any other like-minded in a manner that they see fit only when they are united and stronger together.
The caucus also weighed in on the recent resignation of Eliud Owalo from the executive office of the president to pursue a 2027 presidential bid. While some see this as a potential split in the Nyanza vote, the professionals view it differently, though with a caveat.
Seeing one of us wanting to throw his weight into the presidential campaign as a presidential flag bearer, one which is not very clear to us is which party. So I think in the interest of the community, there's nothing stopping Owalo from joining any of the parties, including ODM.
Kila aliyetia sahihi katika makubaliano hayo ni kwamba waangazie na wazingatie umoja na uwiano ya Kenya nzima kabla ya kuweka mbele matakwa yao ya kibinafsi.
But even as they backed the UDA-ODM cooperation, a sense of frustration was evident. The caucus decried what they termed as the sidelining of experts and intellectuals in the current administration, demanding a seat at the core governance table.
We know that Kenya's development potential cannot be fully realized while professional expertise remain excluded from the core national leadership and decision making.
Tunataka kuweka uzito kwa hii mambo ya 10-point agenda kwa sababu tukiendelea kama nchi tunatarajia uchaguzi na mambo ambayo yatakuwa ya kipaumbele katika uchaguzi unaokuja.
Tunataka kumuomba Mheshimiwa Rais zile ahadi zote ambazo uliweza ukatilia manani, utekelezaji tafadhali uweze pia ikawekwa katika mwendo wa kasi.
With the frictions within the ODM party looking to hit a crescendo, the professionals have urged the stakeholders not to lose focus on the 10-point agenda agreement signed between UDA and ODM parties. Vincent Kerosi, Hope TV, Nairobi.
Indeed, it's a race against time for the Orange Democratic Movement Party. Let's now take a look at matters education, where senior school principals in several parts of the country have welcomed the government's directive empowering chiefs to help trace grade 10 learners who are yet to report to school, saying the move will ensure that no learner is left behind. As the new academic phase takes shape, school heads in Kisii and Nyamira counties noted that local administrators are best placed to identify learners still at home and understand the challenges preventing them from reporting, ranging from financial constraints to domestic issues. The principals have expressed optimism that with the support of chiefs, village elders and the extended reporting deadline, schools will gradually fill their allocated slots and achieve full transition to senior school. On the same note, the government has warned that schools that fail to admit students into grade 10 risk closure following increased complaints over low enrollment.
We still continue to receive more learners, and from the look of things, it's like we are heading towards the 900 mark, which we have been captured by the government. Concerning the directive that the government had given regarding the involvement of the local administration, especially the chiefs, to ensure that any grade 10 learner who was still at home, we thank the government for that directive. But concerning our school, that one had already been put in place. We had been working with our local chiefs
to come because of various reasons. So the idea that the chiefs come in, I think, is good. I've seen it in the past elsewhere where I've worked. We had boys who went to mine, this gold mine around Kurialand. And the chiefs assisted us to bring these boys back to school. Even last time again, when I came here, I saw a case of a boy that had dropped somewhere in second term because of family issues, domestic problems. Actually, the chief assisted that boy to come back and even did his exams, and he got a very strong C+. So I'm confident if they do that, it can assist us get these students that are hiding out there.
Right now, from education now to the corridors of justice, the High Court has temporarily halted the implementation of the proposed 11 billion shillings Riruta Lenana Ngong Gauge Railway commuter line, pending the hearing of a petition filed by Busia Senator Okia Omtata and two others after the respondents failed to adhere to court directions. In interim orders issued on Tuesday, Justice Bohati Mwamuye restrained the Kenya Railways Corporation, that is the KRC, a state corporation, together with its agents and any other parties from proceeding with the procurement or execution of the project, pending the hearing and determination of an application filed before the court. Now, the judge ruled that all the respondents had been duly served with court papers and directions but failed to comply with the timelines set by the court to file their responses. Right, and let's still stay in courts, and the High Court in Embu has officially received ballot boxes and other election materials used during the Mbeere North by-election held on November 27 last year. This comes after Justice Richard Mwongo directed the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to hand over the materials as evidence before the case continues. And as Sami Adika reports, this is the first time that ballot boxes and other election materials will remain under the custody of the court.
Barely a week after Justice Richard Mwongo issued a directive that IEBC should surrender ballot boxes and other election materials used in the Mbeere North parliamentary by-election, the IEBC has heed to the orders. The decision has been welcomed by parties on both sides of the case, challenging Leo Wamuthende's victory as Mbeere North Member of Parliament, saying it will facilitate further scrutiny in accordance with the court orders.
Still have a further date for directions on 12th of February when we will return to court, and the court has set hearing dates for this matter, which are tentatively in the month of March.
Chief Magistrate Francis Kiambi said the boxes will remain under tight security as no party will have access without the other 5 being present.
And as the head of station, we expected the judge to issue an order for scrutiny of the votes, and by going by that, we had to prepare a safe place to keep those materials. That's why we have a court which are very secure.
Nobody will open any door without the presence of the other person. We all have to be there to open.
The directive followed a petition filed by voters challenging the victory of Leonard Wamuthende, who secured the win with 15,802 votes, defeating DP's Newton Kariuki, who garnered 15,308 votes. The first petition was filed by Julieta Karigi and Patrick Gitonga, while the second was filed by Newton Kariuki. The petitioners raised questions on Wamuthende's real identity, voter registration, nomination procedures, and the conduct of the election. The case will be mentioned on February 12th this year. For Newswatch, I'm Sami Adika.
All right, thank you so much, Sami Adika, for that report. Now, still ahead tonight is an update on how sniffer dogs along the Kenya-Tanzania border helped uncover 2.5 million shillings worth of bang. Now, stay tuned for that and many other more stories coming up immediately after the break.
Get ready for an unforgettable worship experience. Every Sunday on Ultimate Worship. Where we bring you live music, powerful praise, and anointed gospel ministers and bands. Join us every Sunday, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. with a repeat at 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Everywhere I go, I see you right there. It's not just music, it's worship unleashed. It's ultimate worship.
You're too faithful to fail me.
Only on Hope TV, where you look and live.
What if your pain had a purpose? What if your past was just a beginning of a greater story?
Gotten to another level because now I could not do anything without it, and now it became like a poison. I take it today, it grounds me for 3 more days.
I had not read the Bible. When I read the Bible, it just confirmed all the more that I had an encounter with the Lord, because I told him, Lord, why have you come to me?
From the streets to the sanctuary, from the prison yard to the pulpit, real people are sharing the power of God's transforming love. No matter where you've been, God can rewrite your story.
So I got him, I just called, and by luck, he picked up the phone. I explained everything and what I was feeling.
Wow.
He started praying in tongues immediately over the phone, and that thing, whatever it was, it stopped.
Join me, Sharon Aitore Wanganye, for Testify every Thursday at 8 p.m. as we listen through the journey of hope, healing, and redemption through the voices of people just like you.
And when you're running away from God, there's only the fire you can run.
Yeah.
I stand here as a witness that God catches up.
These aren't just stories, they are testimonies. Don't just watch. Testify.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for choosing Hope TV's Newswatch to bring you up to speed with the latest developments in the country. Now, tension remains high in Mukulusu village in Shinyalu constituency in Kakamega County after a violent confrontation involving forest officers left 2 residents dead and several others injured. The incident occurred in the early hours of Tuesday after forest officers allegedly confronted locals over a tractor ferrying sand from River Isiuhu through Kakamega Forest. Now, residents claim the officers opened fire, triggering chaos that saw an officer's motorcycle set ablaze and the officers injured. However, Shinyalu OCPD Daniel Mukumbu gave a different account, stating that the officers were attacked by residents armed with machetes. Area leaders led by Shinyalu Member of Parliament Fred Ikana and Muranda Ward MCA Elfas Shilosho condemned the conduct of the officers, saying this was not the first time such an incident was happening in the area.
Wakati nikidoka nikirudi kwa boma wakapita spiti marisasi zikipikwa. Kuna mwenye alikuwa anatokezea mbele na pikipiki akapikwa risasi na huyo ni Koto. Kidogo tu tena nikasikia wengine wenye walikuwa nyuma wakisema mwingine pia amepikwa risasi. Sasa hapo kweli hata mimi nikashindwa, nikapaki kujiuliza. Ukweli ni kwamba mchanga inatoka Hondolo huko Isiuhu. Askari wanaweza fatana na watu kutoka Hondolo mpaka Navangala, ambapo Hondolo iko mbali na Navangala. Wakuje wakabiliane na watu hapo mpaka waue watu wawili.
Nitoka tu na pikipiki kidogo tu nikimuona. So sijui alikuwa anaenda wapi. Alitokea wale maskari mbele walikuwa wanatoka Hondolo huko chini. So vile walikuwa wanatoka huko tulikuwa tunasikia tu diakas. So tukasema si tuwezi toka nje. Saa kidogo ndio kijana mwingine akakuja kutuambia nyinyi mumekaa kwa nyumba. Kodi huku amekufa. Tulienda tukapata yeye ni maiti.
Hii kitendo ya jana imefanyika. Tuliweza kuiprocess na tunafuatia watu wale walikuwa wako na makosa. Kama ni officers wa KWA wa Kenya Forest watastakiwa kama ndio walikuwa na makosa. Kama ni wananchi pia walikuwa na makosa, vile sheria itachukua mkondo wake.
Najua kwamba mandate ama kazi ya askari wa msitu ni pale msituni. Inaanza na kuishia pale msituni. Hawana ruhusa ya kuja kuhangaisha raia mitaani. Wanaeleza ya kwamba wale askari wa forest ati walikuwa wanafuata tractor ambayo ilikuwa na mchanga. Na huo mchanga walikuwa wanashuku kwamba labda ulikuwa umechukuliwa katika mtu ambao uko sehemu fulani ya msitu. Na tunasema hata kama tractor ilikuwa imetoka kwa forest na mchanga, kuna sheria ambayo inafaa kufuatwa, sio kufetulia raia risasi, kwa sababu hawa raia wangu wa Shinyalu hawana rungu, hawa raia wangu hawana panga, hawajashika panga, hawajashika mawe. Sasa kwa nini wafetulie risasi? Na kama lazima ufyatue risasi, sheria ya risasi inasema do not use excessive force.
And let's stay in Western Kenya just for a bit. Boda boda operators in Webuye town and its surrounding areas in Bungoma County have raised concerns over the worsening security situation following the killing of one of their own on Sunday night. The body of the deceased was found with severe injuries at the Weybridge area in Webuye town. The operators are now calling for urgent measures to address the rising cases of motorcycle theft and killings, which they say are rampant. Glory Nkatha has more details.
Boda boda operators in Webuye are deeply worried about the surges of criminal activities targeting motorcycle riders. Led by their chairman, Dan Waliaulam, they claim that cases of motorcycle thefts and killings have been increasing in recent days, posing a serious threat to their lives and livelihoods. They have appealed to the county government to install security lights in various parts of the town and its outskirts, as well as to repair poor roads that contribute to unsafe conditions for both riders and residents. Meanwhile, the boda boda operators have been urged to remain vigilant when carrying passengers, especially at night, and have called on security agencies to fast-track investigations and arrest those responsible for the killings and motorcycle thefts in Webuye town and neighboring areas. Security lights in various parts of the town and its outskirts, as well as to repair poor roads that contribute to unsafe conditions for both riders and residents. Meanwhile, the boda boda operators have been urged to remain vigilant when carrying passengers, especially at night, and have called on security agencies to fast-track investigations and arrest those responsible for the killings in Webuye town and neighboring areas. Security lights in various parts of the town and its outskirts, as well as to repair poor roads that contribute to unsafe conditions for both riders and residents. The boda boda operators pledged to work closely with security agencies to help restore peace, stressing that their safety is vital to the sustainability and their work. Reporting for Newswatch, my name is Glory Nkatha.
Authorities have intensified the crackdown on narcotics trafficking after police in Namanga, Kajiado County intercepted a large consignment of bang weighing 84 kilograms and estimated to be worth 2.5 million shillings from a Kenya-bound passenger bus arriving from Tanzania headed to Nairobi. During the operation, police arrested both the driver and the conductor of the bus, who are identified as Tanzanian nationals, with a seizure adding to a growing number of recent drug interceptions. Normal routine checks by a multi-agency team comprising officers from the Anti-Narcotic Unit, Kenya Revenue Authority, Kenya Wildlife Service and the Police Dog Unit at the Namanga one-stop border turned into a drug bust worth millions of shillings.
Maofisa wetu wa National Police Service walipata mzigo ambao haukueleweka. Kuangalia kwa makini ni mzigo ambaye inakuwa suspected kama ni bangi ambayo iko na street value ya shilingi milioni 2,502. Iko na kilogram 84 kilograms.
The bang on board a Kidia 1 Express bus registration number T372DWL was destined for Nairobi before sniffer dogs alerted officers to suspicious packages concealed in the bus's fuel chamber.
Tumekuja kupata habari kwamba hii madawa inasafirishwa kutoka nje za ng'ambo, nje za nje. Kama hii mzigo ilikuwa inatoka Dar es Salaam ikiingia Kenya. Na mwenye kupokea mzigo ako Nairobi.
Police have so far arrested and detained the bus's 37-year-old driver, George Ngoba, and 25-year-old conductor, Trisha Lucas from Tanzania at the Namanga police station as officers launch a hot pursuit of the main suspect believed to have been awaiting the consignment in Nairobi.
Tunaendelea kumsaka, saizi maofisa wetu wengine wako Nairobi wanaendelea kumsaka na tunajua kwamba atapatikana.
The bus and the recovered bang have also been detained as exhibits. Kajiado County Police Commander Alex Shikondi lauded the operation as government's commitment to disrupting narcotics networks and protecting communities from the harmful effects of illicit drugs.
We want to tell the smugglers out there, people who like to smuggle through Namanga border, that we get them, we will cast them, and all prohibited items will be confiscated, and people will be prosecuted in court and taken to jail. That is the message that we want to send out there, that we want only legitimate trade to be facilitated through this border.
The Namanga Bang nab comes just a day after another consignment weighing 266.2 kilograms valued at 13,310,000 shillings was nabbed in Elgeyo Marakwet County. Theo Macharia for Hope TV's Newswatch.
Hi everyone, my name is George Gishoro, a presenter with Hope TV. Thank you so very much for continuing to support us by watching all our programs. Now, we would love to serve you even better. Now, we want to know where you are watching us from and the strength of the signal. You can scan the QR code and ensure that you answer all the questions in ensuring that you are getting us loud and clear with crystal pictures. So go ahead and fill in the QR code so that we can serve you better right here at Hope TV, where you look and live.
At the age of 25 is where there is also another change, because the frontal cortex, this part of the head, the maturity now of the brain happens at that time, which is responsible for intellectual abilities, decision makings, and like the executive area of the brain. Again, it comes with other challenges. Now that I am who I am, you withdraw further from people. Then the other stage that comes in, sometimes it can come early from the age of 35 all the way to 55. Midlife crisis. Midlife crisis. So the man is trying to catch up with the lost time. Unajua anajaribu kuingia kwa hawa vijana because they lost the time, they don't fit. Unapata jamaa anaacha koti avae, lakini wao wamevaa kama
Jiji, wao wameacha koti. Are you trying to communicate?
Are you trying to fit? So like, so like they are trying to fit, but as they move closer to this generation, now ina move away. Inasonga, ukikuja inasonga. So then the loneliness increases, and in fact it is that critical stage where, in the field of psychology, we teach the men to begin to prepare themselves for that package of retirement.
Catch past episodes on our YouTube channel at Hope TV Kenya. Men on Record, every Friday at 7 p.m.
All right, welcome back. And now let's talk business over a matter that has created or caused quite some jitters for some while. Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has strongly opposed the Treasury's proposal to sell a 15% stake in Safaricom to Vodafone Kenya, warning that the deal could deny taxpayers up to 150 billion shillings. Appearing before the National Assembly Finance Committee, Nyoro argued that restricting the sale to a single buyer undervalues Safaricom and called for an open international bidding process to secure a better price for the public. Nyoro further questioned the fiscal logic of the transaction, saying future Safaricom dividends are already factored into government revenue planning, making the sale a risky, quote-unquote, securitization of dividends that could breach public finance laws. Consumer Federation of Kenya, COFEC, also opposed the deal, citing lack of public participation and exclusion of local investors. Treasury says the sale will fund the Sovereign Wealth Fund, while Safaricom CEO Peter Ndegwa defended it as a shareholder realignment. All right, time for us now to get sporty. And we begin with an interesting news. Now, amid an increase in toxic, money-driven relationships, sexual immorality, and nightlife-related substance abuse that are at times resulting in shame or deadly violence among youth, some female university students are opting to spend their leisure time engaging in sports such as football to gain financial independence and build their careers. Mona Lisa Anyango and Tessie Orembo, who are students at Zitech University, say they often see young women being drawn into alcohol use and sexual relationships with multiple men just for financial gain. But instead, they have chosen to focus on sports as a safer and positive alternative. The two spoke after a friendly match between Zitech Sparks and Kisbet Queens at the Zitech Sports Ground. Listen in.
Imenisaidia nimepishana na like bad company, at least inaniweka busy, at least tunatoka zoezi kama tumefanya kitu, narudi kwa nyumba kama nimechoka. Sasa naoga, nafanya tu shughuli zangu ndogo ndogo, nikongoja tena kesho siku nyingine. Like inanifanya pia sifanyi mambo mingi huko nje, like kutembea, kuzurura.
Football inanisaidia sana, inaniepusha na mambo mob, vitu watu wengine wanafanya huko nje. Mimi kila time niko grao asubuhi, jioni naenda yangu ya part time. So football inanikavia vitu mob sana, yenye sijui singekuwa nacheza mpira, sijui ningekuwa wapi sasa hii. Ni kama asshole. Unaona, football inatusaidia. Kama mimi nikichezea Zitech hivi kuna ka upkeep tunapewa, inatusukuma each and every month. So naweza urge mtu wako na talent, usi give up on your talent, kuja tu jaribu, upush juu hakuna kitu inakaa mizi.
The UEFA Champions League is entering March week 7 tonight with 9 fixtures scheduled to be played. In the early kickoff, Manchester City is currently taking on Bodo Glimt. At 11 p.m, FC Copenhagen will welcome Italian champions Napoli. Inter Milan will lock horns with Arsenal. Olympiacos will host Leverkusen, while Real Madrid welcomes Monaco to the Bernabeu. Defending champions PSG will face Sporting CP away from home, and Tottenham will face Borussia Dortmund, while Villarreal hosts Ajax. Right, and on that UEFA note, we've come to the close of tonight's broadcast. I hope you have adequately been informed. From myself and the men and women behind the scenes, we say asante sana for watching Hope TV's Newswatch on this day, the 20th day of January 2026. Our sign language interpreter has been Boniface Morethi, and my name is Theo Macharia. Remember, there is nothing that is too hard for the Lord. Good night. God bless.